Welcome to Candid Créoles, where we elevate and celebrate Haitian excellence and friends. And today we have with us Ulrick Jean-Pierre. Ulrick is a Haitian artist born in 1955 in Wozo, Haiti. Ulrick began drawing at the age of 4 and painting by the time he was 16. Ulrick received his foundational training from Haitian masters at the Foyer des Arts Plastiques in Port-au-Prince, where he was influenced by artists such as L'Ouverture Poisson, Rosemary Desruisseaux, René and Lavorency Exhumé, and Archibald Lochard. In 1977, shortly after graduating from the Foyer, Ulrick was invited to the United States by the newly formed Haitian Cultural Society and Drexel University in Philadelphia, where his newest collection of work appeared in a solo exhibition. He continued his artistic training at the University of the Arts, formerly known as the Philadelphia College of Arts, where he began exploring historical archives as sources of artistic inspiration. And today we'll get to talk about Ulrick's painting. As you know, as you can see, we have one of his paintings on the screen. So welcome, Ulrick.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Oh, it is my...
We're going to first start by asking you a little bit about your background. We know you from Haiti and your childhood. So you were born in Wozo. Where is Wozo in Haiti?
Wozo is in the Grandance area and near the city of Jérémie, the town of Jérémie. Okay. So it's near the town of Jérémie.
Okay. And so you grew up in Haiti, and then you were introduced to art at an early age. Actually, you started at very early, actually.
Yes. I grew up in Pétionville. I left Jérémie when I was about 6 years old. And I grew up in Pétionville. And of course, being in Pétionville was a very inspiring place because of its various art community. So, as you know, Jérémie is known for its poets, and Pétionville is known for its various art community. So it was very easy to be inspired by living in a very fertile environment where artistic creativity was accessible to the creative soul such as mine.
Yeah, you're definitely a creative soul because your painting says all of that and more, definitely. So, and what influenced you beyond the school that I mentioned, as far as what influenced your art beyond those artists that I mentioned in the introduction?
Well, I have here to say that, being the son of a great history and the son of the product of a great, culture, such as Haiti's culture. So it was very easy, for me to be inspired and becoming an artist. So I never said to myself that I was going to be an artist. As many children sometimes, they can predict when you ask them question what they want to be, but I was not one of those, so I was the type of person who thought, well, being at a place where there was so much artistic expression, artistic productivity, it was like it was very easy, just like I was in a punch that was exposed to liquid, and it was easy to be inspired. And so that's how it started, because I had one of my uncles was a sculptor. So I remember that, my interest, started in art, since I was 4 years old when I visited my uncle's studio. And so that was the first time I I saw an artist, sketching on a blackboard, and my uncle was sketching the drawing of his horse. And so that was the beginning of my artistic inspiration and expression.
So c'est parce que l'oué mon courant vient tout en source d'inspiration pour.
Oui, c'est ça.
C'est ça. D'accord. So, mais l'on vient rentrer ici, so te get à l'école et les arts en Haïti.
Oui, c'est ça.
Puis, comment te fait joindre invitation ça pour te à Philadelphie pour te exposer œuvre yo?
Eh bien, ça que pendant que moi j'étais dans l'école là, t'es gagné Madame Yves Jérôme et Dr. Yves Jérôme, et qui était gagné une association qui a été fondée en 1976 en conjonction avec célébration bicentenaire de l'indépendance des États-Unis. Et puis, il était besoin, il t'a cherché, il était intéressé pour faire une sorte d'échange avec artistes haïtiens et artistes américains pour artistes américains aller à Haïti et puis pour artistes haïtiens venir aux États-Unis. Mais il était acheté travail, moi, la main professeur artiste moyen, et puis c'est comme ça que yo vinn ouais travail moi yo intéressé, et puis là yo vinn apprendre que c'est un jeune artiste, et puis yo était encore mieux intéressé, et puis yo invité yo fait arrangement avec Bruxelles Université, et puis yo invité pour venir faire une exposition en conjonction avec en célébration fête de l'indépendance des États-Unis, mais moi pas bien arrivé en 1976 comme il était programmé, mais moi fini tout de suite après, venu en 1977. Et c'est à partir de là moi venu intéressé dans faire peinture historique parce que il était gagné un pile documents, il était gagné une bibliothèque privée, et puis dans la bibliothèque, ça a été jeune pile l'information qu'il me besoin. So, je suis capable de dire comme ça que bien que je me en dehors d'Haïti, mais m'inspiré par l'histoire d'Haïti en pile pendant que je vivais en dehors d'Haïti. C'était un environnement qui était très fertile pour moi. On pensait que je jeune tout ça que moi besoin dans oui, c'est ça.
OK, so dans la bibliothèque, là, on te joue un pile livre sur l'histoire d'Haïti.
Oui, exactement.
Et puis, c'est ça qui vient influencer pour focus sur historical art.
Oui, ça aide, mais depuis Haïti, je suis capable de dire comme ça que l'école, depuis petit, moi, j'étais réellement intéressé dans l'histoire. Je capable de dire l'histoire, c'était un sujet, une matière préférée. So, mais là que moi venu aux États-Unis, ça a encore fait que moi venu plus encouragé, on pensait que moi venu exposer au côté que tu gain moins distraction parce que quitter Haïti et puis venir dans le pays côté que pour moi venir réadapter ce qui veut dire en joindre un livre qui t'est intéressé ou qui t'est focalisé sur matière préférée dans l'élevin des côtés de surtout histoire Haïti, so, ça t'est vite fait plus facile pour moi pour me concentrer. Et puis faire un peu de recherche en dehors des bibliothèques là, ou pas les Jérôme, mais je suis capable de dire comme ça que pour me faire avant que moi crée une peinture, je suis obligé à aller dans l'autre librairie, aller à la Tempo Université, et puis d'autant plus tôt aller dans la librairie publique tout, pour me capable de joindre toute information que j'ai besoin avant que je sois capable de créer une peinture sur l'histoire d'Haïti.
Oui, moi, j'ai vraiment différent, ou un pile painting sur l'histoire de notre pays.
Oui.
Notre pays natal. Donc, oui, c'est vraiment intéressant. C'est vraiment intéressant. So, ça n'a pas gardé la première, c'est qui est-ce que est capable de dire nous un peu de painting ça, qui est ça qui inspiré et puis ça le représentait pour.
Peinture, ça, c'est une peinture, c'est une bataille de Vertières. Comme un peu le monde connaît, bataille de Vertières, c'était une bataille décisive, elle vient des côtés des batailles qui réellement sécurisées pour l'indépendance d'Haïti,
Ouais.
en 18 novembre 1803. Mais c'est une peinture qui est dans une collection privée. Et puis, bon, mettre peinture, c'est docteur et madame et Joseph Michel Lemaire en Floride qui a peinture ça, c'est réellement zamim. Et puis, même capable de dire comme ça que j'étais influencé par, euh, par tout ça que moi lis sur l'histoire d'Haïti, elle vient des côtés des batailles, ou elle vient des côtés des révolutions. Hein. Mais je suis capable de dire comme ça que c'est une peinture préférée. So, peinture, ça, son peinture symbolique, elle vient des côtés des, elle vient des côtés des identités collectives haïtiennes. Et ça, c'est ça qui vraiment qui montrait, l'Elvin des côtés des sacrifices que toute l'armée révolutionnaire a fait pour être capable de déclarer indépendance en 1804.
Absolument. Li m'a regardé sa peinture en un pile détail et combien de temps il prend pour peinturer et pour te créer et ça?
Bon, moi, pas changé exactement quelle quantité de temps qu'elle était prendre. Changé que moi, était peinture hein, en 1995. Mais peinture, ça, c'est une peinture qui te prend des mois pour moi être capable de peindre parce que forme te fait un peu de recherche. Parce que là que moi, commencé un processus physique là, mais parfois, je toujours joindre une raison pour moi qui est pour mal dans la bibliothèque, pour mal faire plus de recherche. So, je suis capable de dire que ça, peinture, ça a été comme des mois pour me faire. Et puis, pour moi-même, il y a une peinture qui représente l'histoire d'Haïti. Parce que, ce n'est pas une peinture qui est capable de peindre juste pour peindre, mais c'est une peinture qui m'a donné non seulement plus de recherche, mais qui réellement ont une importance énorme pour moi et pour tout Haïtien qui partagent la même histoire. Ça.
Yeah, absolument. Son moment ça Vertière magnifique victoire mais toujours songé parti ça et jusqu'à présent alors que des tout petits Haïti le m'apprendre les mais pour
Oui.
une raison mais c'est tellement important pour nous que les toujours été dans tête moi triomphe des noirs et mort de l'esclavage tout le temps toujours dit moi ça et que donc c'est vraiment important pour te faire toute recherche ça vraiment pour qu'on ait ça mais ça pas le décrit dans peinture faut
Oui.
capable et réaliser tout ça qui était réalisé dans le moment ça. Et moi, ouais, qu'on fait vraiment, it's amazing. It's an amazing piece of work, piece of art. Yeah, beautiful.
Well, merci.
C'est bien, c'est bien. Il y a un documentaire qu'on fait sur aussi.
Oui.
Est-ce que le documentaire l'a publié déjà?
Documentaire là, je peux dire comme ça que il y a toujours travaillé sur lui. Il y a même 4 ans depuis qu'il a travaillé sur lui. On pense que tout le monde qui a travaillé sur le documentaire, il a fait un peu, il fait un peu de recherche. Il y a les Haïti, il y a les différents côtés, il y a les différents États. Tout côté que vous êtes capable de jouer un travail moins et puis vous avez fait un voyage spécial à Haïti juste pour vous capable d'aller dans le milieu côté que tout événement ça a été fait au point de l'élever de côté. Par exemple, habitation Breda, côté tout ça l'ouverture était faite, il y a les citadelles et puis parce que ça vous voulez faire, vous voulez montrer toute peinture que moi peinte qui est connectée avec toute région, pour prendre région historique, pour prendre ça, juste pour être capable de montrer référence, pour être capable de gagner comme référence. So, moi, espérer que l'année ça, film n'a fini. Mais ça que vous gagnez de film, c'est juste un petit parti, tout petit, ou pas juste comme juste comme un échantillon.
D'accord, d'accord.
Oui,
Oui, parce que m'da pensé ça, so, yo pour aller chercher tout côté, tout partie historique qu'on mettait dans la peinture, yo, so yo même yo besoin à montrer yo tout dans le documentaire là.
oui, exactement.
C'est bien ça, c'est vraiment bien. So là, on vision réelle de ça, ou de œuvre.
Oui, c'est ça.
C'est ça,
C'est exact.
connecté avec pays. Hein. C'est ça,
Oui,
c'est ça. D'accord? Nous gagnons un monde qui a passé et peinture pour nous, qui a aidé Ulrick pour nous capable parler de œuvre et puis pour nous capable montrer et talent Ulrick jeudi en tout dans Candid Créoles parce que nous avons fait Candid conversation Candid avec Ulrick et puis nous avons même parlé de peinture. So, comment peinture ça relève?
Oui, ça c'est la révolte des esclaves 1791. Oui, peinture ça, oui, c'est une peinture qui est vraiment marquée. C'est la révolte des esclaves là qui était faite. Et une semaine après Bois-Caïman, c'était 14 août 1791, ça c'était 22 août 1791, tout de suite après la cérémonie du Bois-Caïman. Ça c'est un esclave plein du Nord qui, qui était, qui était révolté contre un colon français et puis mettait du fait. Ça, c'était vraiment le commencement de la révolution en 1791. Et puis, lutte l'a continué jusqu'à 1803.
Ouais.
Et puis, en 1804, nous venons gagner l'indépendance.
Mm-hmm.
Même capable de dire comme ça que le qui me travaille sur peinture, ça, c'était une époque côté que non seulement passons paquet à faire recherche, mais parfois on passe des nuits et puis côté que moi pas dormi parce que j'étais tellement j'étais tellement
Passionné.
j'étais tellement passionné. Bon, so, je dis comme ça, il y a des jours, j'ai passé toute nuit là à travailler la peinture et puis moi seulement dormi le lendemain et puis mal dormi moi seulement dormi pendant 3 heures de temps et puis on a retourné et puis repédaler encore mais son petit qui marquait mon pile quand les que moi t'a peindre.
Oui, parce que leur passionné d'un bagay ou vraiment dormir pour vous, c'est la moindre des choses. Donc, c'est pas ça dans tête. Même manger, leur travail, son bagay, ou pas réaliser que il leur pour manger. Donc,
Oui, c'est ça.
tellement passionné dans son affaire. Yeah.
Oui. Ça que moi, ça qui te fait que ça qui fait peinture ça avec peinture et avec cérémonie bois caïman, il y a un peu d'importance pour moi, c'est parce que pour moi-même, il marqué commencement révolution. Hein. Et puis, je pense que révolution, ça a commencement, c'est les mêmes qui viennent réellement, nous capables de dire que commencement, c'est là que l'identité collective nous commencé, c'est avec révolution ça.
Ouais.
Même quand dit comme ça que le regard d'importance et ça que peinture ça vient contribuer pour nous, pour prendre surtout la naissance identité collective, non? Même quand dit comme ça que Haïti, c'est quand c'est son monument, c'est bien que l'Elvin des côtés des superficies, nous sommes capables de dire qu'on s'allie pas un gros pays, ou bien géographiquement, même capable de dire comme ça que l'Elvin des côtés des importances Haïti, moi ouais Haïti, la perception pas comme un artiste, moi ouais Haïti comme un géant. So, parce que Haïti, c'est un pays côté que, même si que nous avons même pensé avec début, début européen en Amérique, parce que c'est là que tout le bagage a commencé. C'est un pays que vous êtes supposé honorer. Et je suis capable de dire comme ça pour nous-mêmes haïtiens. Les nous garder des peintures comme ça, c'est vraiment fondation identité collective. So, pour raison ça, dès que moi t'ai peint, j'ai senti que moi j'étais réellement inspiré et passionné. So, que veut dire, pas de temps pour me dormir.
Ouais.
So, on va me dépasser presque tout le temps, toute énergie me passer là-dedans et puis pas de sentir me fatigué et puis d'être encore plus jeune. So,
Ouais. Ouais, définitivement. Donc, c'est et combien de temps il prend parce que les détails sont tellement exquisite et well, ou prend son pour faire tout petit détail pour bien montrer. Il comme en photo. Donc,
oui, bon,
c'est comment et combien de temps ou songer combien de temps ça te prend?
changer, moi je travaille la peinture ça va 6 mois. Mhm. Mais 6 mois, c'est pas seulement quand ça allait prendre parce que il y a des jours, dès qu'on passe toute la nuit, toute la journée, toute la nuit à travailler là-dedans. Ce qui veut dire réellement difficile pour me dire exactement combien de temps il prend.
Exactement ça.
Même
OK.
quand on est là, jour, yo, je suis capable de compter 6 mois, même pas compter 8 jours.
Oui, bien sûr. So, Ligue doit prendre 6 mois, mais il prend beaucoup plus d'heures que d'ordinaire.
Oui, c'est ça.
Que le t'apprend dans 6 mois pour ta faire l'autre peinture. Nous
Oh
comprenons.
oui,
Nous
oui, c'est
comprenons.
ça.
Nous
Uh-huh.
comprenons. Nous comprenons. D'accord, d'accord. Et Francis, on connaît que les prend et chaque temps Francis a montré nous en peinture, la prend quelques secondes avant Ulrick capable pour Ulrick capable dire nous un peu plus de sa peinture représentée, bien que le nous garder peinture comme haïtien, nous connaît nous connaissons l'histoire là, so nous ouais ça a passé dans peinture, n'a pour vivre histoire là dans peinture Ulrick. Donc, Francis va montrer nous l'autre photo. Et entre-temps, Ulrick m'a demandé, pendant Francis ou mettre changer ou mettre montrer nous l'autre photo, m'a demandé que est-ce qu'on toujours est peinturé sur l'histoire d'Haïti ou bien vous fait l'autre style de peinture? Parce que je connais, vous travaillez sur différents styles, vous fait portrait, ou sont réalistes, ou travaille tout sur surrealism. And
Yes.
so, do you paint other things now, other style now besides Haitian arts?
Well, je vais dire comme ça que, bon, pour moi, et, moi, je commissionné, comme moi, vivre en Louisiane et Atlanta. Euh, mais communauté artistique en Nouvelle-Orléans surtout, et commissionné pour me peindre différents portraits tels que Henriette de Lille. Henriette de Lille, c'était une mère qui était vive dans les années 1800, mais on est capable de dire comme ça que il y a un lien, il y a une connexion avec Haïti parce que c'était monde qui était fait, on est capable de dire comme ça, fait partie des premières générations ou bien monde qui était quitté Haïti durant la révolution, hein, et puis qui est allé Louisiane. Et puis, sur le lycée, il y en a monde qui était premier, dans la première génération,
D'accord,
qui était fait Louisiane. Et puis, bon, dans les années 1800, il était venu, il était sympathisé, il était sympathisé avec l'élevine des côtés de la vie sociale qui, gens que moi, t'as vécu en Louisiane. Et puis, bon, il était venu former une organisation. Et puis, mais Collier, on capable de dire comme ça qu'avec l'école, il était fondé avec tout ça qu'il était fait pour bien commun. Et puis, Collier est venu canoniser comme saint.
mhm.
Donc, c'est premier saint que la pied et Louisiane. So, il était commissionné pour me peindre portrait officiel.
D'accord,
Puis, l'autre portrait au ban que moi peine, c'est portrait en bâtonnière et pour Cour suprême dans Nouvelle-Orléans. Et puis, portrait Sainte-Catherine pour l'église Sainte-Catherine qui est Nouvelle-Orléans. On peut moi peindre différents portraits Audubon, James John Audubon qui était fait en Haïti, mais qui était quitté Haïti réellement jeune, mais qui était venu retourner aux États-Unis après papa était fini en Menel en France. Et puis, durant le Napoléon t'a cherché jeune pour te recruter dans l'armée, mais papa te voyait aux États-Unis, c'était une façon pour pas te recruter. Et puis qui est venu connu en Louisiane. So, j'ai une figure historique comme ça que nous peine.
OK. D'accord, d'accord. Et moi, ouais, qu'on recevoir, you are the recipient of many prestigious awards. Like you received first prize in the 2001 competition at a tribute to Sacmo, Louis Armstrong's Centennial Art Exhibit. Tell us about that.
Well, what happened when they were celebrating Louis Armstrong anniversary, centennial birthday, I decided that I wanted you to honor. And it was hard to find a good photograph of him, but with a lot of research, and I was able to find some photograph. And so with what I found, and with a combination with my imagination, so I painted a portrait of Louis Armstrong, and then there was a competition with 175 artists. So I participated in the exhibit, and so I was the winner.
Okay. Yeah, congratulations. That's really great. That's really great. Yes. So you have a lot of you accomplish a lot of great things. And did you also work with Edwidge Dantica?
Yes, Edwidge Dantica is one of the person who always support my work in many ways. So and let me see, in 2004, and there was a book, and a group of scholars, university professors, gather with me in a circle where we wanted you to celebrate the Haitian bicentennial. So the main editor of the book is Professor Cécile Axelien and Professor Jessica Adam, and also Elmid Meleas. And so we worked on that project, the book, featuring my work, but the purpose of that project was to celebrate the bicentennial of the Haitian independence. So Edwidge also had contributed, so much to the book by having an interview with me. And so Edwidge has always been supporting my work. And also in 2014, there was a show at Mupana, at the Haitian National Museum in Haiti, where the U.S. Embassy had purchased some of my work, and then they commissioned a documentary, and then Edwidge was, and her husband, both were very instrumental, in helping and producing that video. And so Edwidge is always doing something, and supporting my work, and I'm very grateful for that. And she's a good friend, Yes.
That's good. Yes.
And her husband, Fido, why? Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. I must say that Edwidge is one of our Haitian authors, for those who don't know Edwidge. And she's very well known, and she's a really great author. So, and you call her friend. So that's really nice. That's really nice.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And Francis, can you show us a different painting? And you now have it in full screen. You can have it as 3 again. You change the screen, you can put it as 3 again.
Yes. If Francis could hold just for a second, the book that was published in 2004. In 2006, the book came out in 2006. So it was the Revolutionary Freedom. And this is the book. Yes.
Okay. And then that's your painting on the cover, of course.
Yes, yes. The main editor is Dr. Cecile Axigné and Jessica Adams and Elmide Melians.
Okay. Yes. And can you, so if somebody wanted to purchase that book, where can they find the book? On Amazon or any bookstores?
I'm pretty sure they can find it on Amazon, but in the press is in Caribbean Studies Press in Florida.
Oh, in Florida as well. Yes. Okay, there is a bookstore. Why is that bookstore in Florida?
No, it is the published. Yeah, it's the
publisher.
The publisher. Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. The publisher is in Florida, and then the book is probably on Amazon. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now I am looking at the screen, and Francis posted something, a new piece of you of your art. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Can you tell us about this one?
Yes. This painting is Jean-Jacques Dessalines, is General Jean-Jacques Dessalines, and waiting on Rochambeau, and following the Battle of Thiers for the evacuation of Rochambeau. Mm-hmm. So, and what I wanted you to show Dessalines, and I wanted to capture your Dessalines not only as a hero, but I wanted you to present a painting that will present everything that, you know, historian, whenever you talk about Dessalines in positive ways, I wanted you to capture. That was my intention, you to capture, you know, all those qualities when it's come to his military genius, when it's come to his bravery, when it's come to a person who was very determined to expel the French, you know, from the island. So I wanted you to show all the good quality, everything positive about Dessalines. Because oftentimes, you know, people talk about only your Toussaint Louverture. Of course, you know, I love your Toussaint Louverture as well. And of course, he's one of the, I painted many portraits of Toussaint Louverture, but I feel that there isn't enough images on Dessalines. And so I'm very conscious that Dessalines is the founder of our independence, is our father, you know. And without Dessalines, we would not have been able to call ourselves, you know, Haitian. He is the father of our nation. So I wanted you to honor your Dessalines.
Okay.
So, and that's how the inspiration came. But one thing that I have you to say about Dessalines, that made, you know, working on this painting was so fascinating to me, is because of the fact that without Dessalines, the work of Toussaint Louverture would not have been known as the way it is today, because had Dessalines allowed the French, you know, to capture him, just like, you know, they were able to trick Toussaint and captured Toussaint Louverture, and then took him to France and imprisoned him. So had Dessalines let this thing happen to him, so I think Toussaint Louverture's work would not have been as important as it is today. And I would say Dessalines' determination in the Haitian Revolution, and then to declare the independence, I think that's really shed light on Toussaint Louverture's work. Otherwise, you know, people would say, well, Toussaint was a good leader. He started, but he was not successful. But with the work of Dessalines, who continued the revolution, so that makes Toussaint Louverture's work more significant.
Yes, Yes, I totally understand what you're saying. And Toussaint Louverture was more trusting of the French,
Yes,
and Dessalines was not trusting of anyone.
yes,
So it's two different characters completely. And I think that's probably why they speak more of Toussaint Louverture than of Dessalines, because
yes,
their character was so different. But you're right, without Dessalines, we would not have been freed.
yes,
But Toussaint played such a big part of the whole process as well. And I
yes,
think because of character, that's why they mention him more, because he went freely on his own to France, thinking that he could negotiate with them or he could create something with them, correct?
yes.
And then they tricked him. They
Yeah,
tricked him.
they tricked
Yes,
him,
they tricked.
and yes,
Yeah. So that's, but definitely I understand, like we Dessalines was the one that like would not trust anyone because he only had one goal, and don't get in his way. Yeah,
yes,
he
yes,
wouldn't
exactly.
let anyone get in his way because he was going to become free. And that surprised me. What surprised me though, because the more I am, of course I studied history of Haiti because I grew up in Haiti, but there are things that I'm learning now that I'm doing more research, just like you. I'm sure you found things that you didn't know as a kid,
Yes,
because there is so much they can teach you about your history in school.
yes,
And there is one thing though that I am surprised that they did not, they agreed to pay the price that they agreed to pay.
mhm.
I'm still surprised. I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it.
Yes. But I think what happened, the French had waited, for the right opportunity, to come to ask, for reparation. And um, in the 1820s, during the time of Jean-Pierre Boyer. But what happened at that time, Haiti was not, was not thinking about, the possibility of the French, returning to, to threat them. And they were not in the spirit, and they mindset of, having a war and the
Fighting
question of the
again.
country.
They didn't
Yes,
want to
exactly.
fight again.
Yes, exactly. And plus, during the time of Pétion had given so much ammunition and weapon, to Simon Bolivar to work on the campaign, to create, to declare the independence of South America. So and so during that time when the French, came, it was a surprise. So it was not, it,
So pas de
why
moyen.
yes, but
So Sayote West, like what you're saying is, what I'm hearing you saying is, pas de moyen pour yo te gagner si Français yo te tourné.
oui, exactement,
They
parce
get
que
doute. They get
Français ont
doute.
été venus bien armés, et puis dans le ça, Haïtien pas penser quand yo pas réellement paré pour la bataille parce que yo te pensé quand bon yo fin gain indépendance et puis ça finit. Mais Français yo même t'es toujours pensé retourner pour yo venir réclamer ça que yo te quitté ou et puis pour yo venir ou prendre imposer yo sur Haïti.
Yeah.
C'est une surprise. On pense que quand on quitte nous a dormi et puis il débarque sur vous et puis il vient demander de bataille et puis il est bien armé ou même on a dormi
Même
ou pas
pas préparé pour ça.
pas préparé, on pense exactement ça que fait. C'est
Yeah.
c'est ça qui
Yes,
revient même.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. They were not ready, so you pensez que the smartest thing for them to do was to pay the money,
Yeah, to pay
so
the
they don't
money.
have to go to war again, because the
Yeah.
war cost them a lot in for many years when they had it, and then they won in 1803. And now
Yes.
we're talking about something that happened about 20 years later. 20 plus years later, they came back and asked for reparation.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the time when Haiti was not expecting that. So
Yeah.
so they were caught by surprise.
Yeah.
So
That definitely, it's they were caught by surprise. Like you said, it's as if you were sleeping and then they walk on you. They woke you up and said, hey, and then you're basically at your most vulnerable point. So
Exactly.
it's like, oh, what do? You have a choice. You have a choice to fight, or you have a choice to pay. Like, and that was 22 years later. The people who won the war were not the same anymore. Were not there.
No,
Many of them were not there anymore.
no, they were not there anymore. And not only that, they were older. Some, that
Yes.
were still there, they were older. They were no longer young men.
They were no longer young men 22 years
No,
later.
young men or young women, so of course,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah, because they waited 22 years, and besides that, it's the new generation that came after them. They were not in that same mindset
Yes,
either.
exactly.
They
So
were not the same people. It's just like the people who are in Haiti today compared to the people that were in Haiti when I was growing up there. We are two different generations,
yes,
and we don't think the same.
we don't think the same.
We don't
Yes.
think the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, it was the French was waiting for that opportunity.
Yes,
And
they were getting ready.
yeah, to come back. Yeah. So that's the thing, So,
Yeah.
but when you look at what the impact of the Haitian Revolution on the Louisiana purchase, I mean, no one, it's kind of hard, for people to imagine that Haiti as a small country, in comparison to the size of the United States, and to think, well, Haiti was so influential, or could be that, influential, on France, to sell Louisiana, um, to the United States. And when you think about your Louisiana purchase, and it's really saved the American independence. It secured the American independence. And so when you look at all the things that Haiti has, accomplished and has done to benefit other countries, especially in the United States, and it's kind of hard to imagine, and the current state of Haiti today, and people cannot imagine that. I always say that, well, Haiti did not start, the way it is, so Haiti is when you think about Haiti's contribution to humanity's history, it is a great country. It is a small country in terms of land, size, but when it comes to its historical accomplishment, it is really monumental. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We definitely, our ancestors really accomplished something that was unthinkable, impossible, or so they thought, and they just couldn't believe that we could, not only that we had the nerve, the audacity to start a war, but we won.
Yes.
And it was unbelievable for all those great powers. How could we?
Yes.
How could we win? And you're talking about people who were enslaved and had no education. Toussaint
Yes.
was educated, but not all of them were educated,
Yes.
And so it was impossible, because we were the second republic after the United States. And
yes.
and we won our independence with a revolution. It's not like it was handed to us. So
yes.
That's very
yes.
impactful.
Yes. And thinking of the how they were so consistent, and that in the revolution, where they started fighting since in 1791, beginning with the ceremony du Boucaille to continue until 1803, so, and of course, in that fight, they were so relentless, and so they were so determined, and it was that determination that won our independence. And when you think about, Haiti today, I think, one thing that that we will always have is having Haiti's history as our blueprint, as of reference that we can see how things were done, how we became a nation. So I think, all these things can be used as example and how to make things, different in Haiti even today. Because when you look at, our heroes and heroes, fought and gave, their life to in the birth of our nation. And so I think with unity, we can accomplish, so much. I know it is a different era, so we are not talking about the revolution where people fighting, but with education, so I think, that can happen if you want, changes, in positive ways in Haiti. So I think if we use our history as reference, to look at how our ancestors, were use, the solidarity and fighting, for one common cause. Of course, it took them 13 years, 14 years, 12 years, 14 years, but they had it, they had it done.
Yeah, they did it because they were united. Because, like you said, and that's why we have that motto, "L'union fait la force." And the reason Haiti is in the way it is today, especially Port-au-Prince, it's because that no longer exists for the current generation. Because when there is unity, then there couldn't be that much chaos. There couldn't be. It's the lack of unity that created that chaos. And like you're looking at Jean-Jacques Dessalines, like he was fierce. And he was a very strong-minded man. He was determined. He was fierce. And yet he was able to lead with unity and unite everyone to be able to win. He was able to enroll everyone into a cause that was going to be good for us all. In the Haiti that we have now, like, it's not like we're not one, and I created this platform. I didn't tell you that at the introduction. I usually like to say that to my guests know I created that and that platform really to highlight who we are, to transform the narrative, because there is a narrative about us that is not pretty out there. And I said, we're going to highlight who we are. We're going to show the world who we are. And it's not just about our ancestors. Our ancestors is great history for us, but it's our past. We are not our past, but we come from our past, and we can create greater things they even created in the world that we are, of course, in the context of the world that we are today. So it will be a different type of greater things, but it will still be great. And although I don't think we can compare what they did with anything that we can create today, because they gave their life. They gave so many lives were lost, but we can create greater things in a different context I'm talking about. And because nothing can rival what they did, nothing. And but this generation doesn't think that way, and that's why we have that chaos.
Yes, but I think one thing that needs to be done is to really invest in the vibrant stream of education, and to make sure that all Haitian children are able, to go to school and to learn about, their history, their culture, embrace, their history and their culture. Because when you think about it, when it's come to us Haitian, we are all, we are very proud, of our history, of our culture. So if we could put a little bit of that pride together, there's a lot of things that we can accomplish. But the thing is that I think we learn to be disunified, to be individualized. Yes, exactly. Yes, but I think I think, in order to build a united Haiti, I think we have to invest in the vibrant stream of education for all children and without any selection, but to make sure that all children, and no matter what socio-economic category, and then think about the children, they are the one who will replace us, and they are the future leaders of Haiti. And if we want, a better Haiti, a united Haiti, I think we have here to invest in education of all children without any selection when it's coming to socio-economic, categories, so, and I think, that is the only way we can have a better Haiti. So as an artist, I recognize that, and I realize that one thing that I realized that I forget, who said that. Ça ou planté, c'est lui-même ou récolté. I mean,
Yes.
when it's coming to Haitian and children, they are looking at us, and they are our listeners. They will be the historian, the teachers, the artists, the musician, the poet, the writers, journalists, and they will be the storytellers.
Yes.
But if we do something that is positive, that can serve them as an example today, so they will use that to, they will be inspired by whatever we do today. And it is crucial, to do something positive that can inspire, Haitian children, and especially young Haitian, and to have a better Haiti. If we do not do anything, so they will not find anything to follow in terms of positive, that can bring, positive changes. But I think
yeah, totally agree. Education is the key, and then there are too many people who are not educated in Haiti, and that's what caused the challenge. Without education, you don't know what you don't know.
yes,
You don't have no idea, and that's what caused the chaos. Like that's sitting in Port-au-Prince right now, and it's a lack of education. People really, I mean, they have no excuse for what they've done, but you can see like the system that was established in Haiti caused it.
Yes, exactly. So I think, it is crucial, to invest, in education, because I think if, more people in Haiti were educated, I think the problem that we are facing today, I think, we would have, I mean, of course, everywhere, I mean, I don't think, there's a country or a nation, that is perfect. So we would probably have, other challenges, just like, in the US, there are many challenges, but the thing is that there are certain basic,
what I've noticed is the US government and other countries, well, I live in the US, so that's the one that I know. I had a friend who said that once. It's like the government has a contract with the people.
Yes.
They owe the people for being elected. They owe them something. That doesn't mean they're always going to do great things. Yes. But there is when they are elected and they get to sit on that seat, whatever it is called, they owe the people who elected them. And then the people of the United States have a voice to say, no, we're going to vote you out. But in Haiti, we don't have that. The government is elected it seems like for their own purposes, and there is no contract. There is no social contract between the government and the people. So and I think that's what's lacking, because that comes from a lack of education, because there is not enough or not much being done for the people. And therefore, it has been happening for years. What happened today doesn't just start yesterday or last night. it's been going on for years, so that's where we are.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we've had a great conversation, and I would like to see other portraits of yours before we wrap up.
Yeah.
I just look at the time and I can believe like it's really nice talking to you. The time just flew right by when you're having a great conversation, a great candid conversation. Can you show me some portraits?
Yes.
Okay, and who does that represent? That's Bwakaima, pas vrai?
Yes, that is a bookman. As you know, bookman was the Ungan who presided, the ceremony of Bwakaima. And so, as well as someone who was very influential when it came to the starting point of the Haitian Revolution. So basically, I have many portraits, and also as well as many historical scenes where not only you're showing figures such as Bookman by himself, but as well as showing him in the ceremony, his participation in the ceremony of Bwakaima as well.
Yeah, Bookman does not have a great reputation in the world. Some even say like that ceremony is what them, excuse my French, to use that word, in Haiti, that we are dealing with so many problems. I personally believe it's the Haitian who created their own problem.
Yes.
What does this one represent?
Yes, this is Marie-Jeanne Lamartinière. As you know, Marie-Jeanne Lamartinière was a soldier, and she was a nurse during the revolution. And when Dessalines was under the leadership of Toussaint Louverture at Crête-à-Pierrot, when the French expeditionary circled the La Crête-à-Pierrot, and when Dessalines asked his soldiers to not letting any French penetrate the fortress, and when he called everyone to come to him and to swear to die for their freedom, or those who were not in agreement with his request to leave the fortress. And Marie-Jeanne Lamartinière was one of the soldiers who came to him and say that we all will die for liberty, and then she was willing to fight until her death. So she was known as a brave woman. And of course, as you know of Marie-Jeanne Lamartinière, and even today, sometimes, Haitian women, whenever they are defending themselves, they always use Marie-Jeanne Lamartinière as reference to say, oh, so Marie-Jeanne.
Yes.
So, but I have done a series on the Haitian women, because what happened, I realized that, many Haitian women contributed so much to our Haitian history, and also, not only our Haitian history, but, to everyday life in Haiti. Just imagine a life without women in Haiti. So there would not be any life, because what happened, some women, they are the breadwinners, and some, in all, social class, category.
Yes.
So it's not only in the middle classes or the upper
every class,
class.
The women, like we call them potomita.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So they contribute so much. And when I look at how, marginalized, many Haitian women, especially in our Haitian history, have been marginalized, and I feel obliged, I feel compelled to show women the forefront in different, battle scene and different, part of the history. And I have done a series on on the women, and I want you to make sure that these women, they are not marginalized, because and that's what we have been saying. But when it's come to Haitian history, I mean, there are many men who have been credited as heroes, but without the support of the women,
they could
they
not
would
have.
not have been known as
No.
heroes,
No.
So,
Yeah.
and I just want you to change the narrative, to my art, so.
Beautiful.
And she's one of the women in this series, so.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
Well, I thank you very much for sharing this. It has been a pleasure having this candid conversation with you. Like I said, we have this platform because we want to transform the narrative and highlight who we really are.
Yes.
And transform the narrative. When the media starts talking about Haiti, usually their first introduction is the poorest country in the Western world. When there is so much, when there is so many other things they could have said to introduce us. So that's why we created this platform, so we can change the narrative and enlighten in their introduction about us. And also, we do have so many challenges in Haiti, but I do believe it will not last forever, because nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. So
yes, I believe so.
Yes.
And I believe that the changes will come with the women as well. I think the women the women are always, they want to, to do so much, and I'm inspired.
Inspired. Beautiful.
Yes.
And if you were to describe Haiti in one word, what would it be?
Liberty.
Liberty. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Help illustrate the history of Haiti around the world.
Well, my paintings are included in different books, different, for example, when in 2004, when a book was, I think it was the Livre d'or du Bicentenaire de la République d'Haïti. So I was one of the artists. They had contacted you to illustrate that book, among other artists, so basically my work is included in different documentaries and then different film, different books, not only books that are written by Haitian, but many scholars of various disciplines. So my work is always, play a role, when it's coming to talking about, Haiti. I mean, if you go on different documentary, on the internet, you're going to find my work all over. Whenever they talk about Haiti, I mean, they include my work, and sometimes they include them, and I did not even know until I'm looking at something totally different and not thinking about my work, and then I realized that my work was, in that program. So my work has been used as a reference and to illustrate, when it comes to illustrating whatever, information they want you to share about Haiti, especially when it comes to its history or culture. So,
sorry, as you're answering, my apologies for cutting you off. As you're answering, I wanted to also add that she has a second question that kind of lead to what you were about to say, and I just wanted to let you know before you continue. And she said, how did the American historians found your painting to show them the way they have been doing in books and presentation?
Well, they contacted me, and or they go into my website, which is Ulrick Jean-Pierre, www.ulrickjeanpierre.com. Or they find my work, in different museums, in different books, magazines, different videos. So, by finding my work, in those sources, or sometimes I had shows at different institutions, and they find them at those institutions, such as different universities, different museums, different places, And that's how, some people ended up, finding my work and then contacted me later, or they look in the internet. When they look on the internet, they
Define
find,
you.
my work, and then sometimes they find a way to contact me. And some people use the work, and I saw it later.
Well, thank you so much again. Yeah, that was a great question. And I would like to know, do you have other women, other painting of other women? Now you want to tell us about Anakaona, and then we'll wrap up.
Yes, Anakaona was the Taino queen who had ruled, Haiti. And so at the very beginning, she had ruled the kingdom of Zaragua. Zaragua is the southern peninsula, part of the southern peninsula, and that stretch, from Port-au-Prince, to the west, to Jeremy, and as well as Leogane, Lekai. All these, part of the country were part of, the Zaragua kingdom. And her kingdom was in Leogane, used to be named as Yaguana. So she was a very powerful leader, but unfortunately, she was betrayed. She was tricked by one of the Spanish, governor, and Nicola Ovando, in 1505, and she was arrested, and she was taken to the eastern side of the island, which is known now as the Dominican Republic, where she was punished. She was hung. So, but of course, it is very common when it's coming to the kind of thing that's happened, to our leaders, especially good leaders. They always, they betrayed or they tricked, where they were asked you to do something, and whatever you did do, it was never enough, especially for the European, So, but
that's how they trick to say.
Yes, exactly. But that was, she was very talented. She was an actress. She was an artist. She was a poetess. She was quite a great leader, So she had governed her kingdom, Zaragua, with her brother Bohekio. Bohekio had passed away, but she continued, her government. But unfortunately, she was tricked when she had invited Ovando to her kingdom, and Ovando told her that he wanted you to sign a treaty of peace with her, but it was a way to get her, arrested. So she was abducted, and so that was the end of her life, So.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for sharing your paintings with us. I wish we could see more, but we definitely, it will be for another time. That will be awesome. And I want to say thank you for accepting our invitation for today. It was a pleasure to have this candid conversation with you. Candid Créoles is always open to have candid conversation with Haitians doing great work wherever they are.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes. And I'm going to say thank you to the audience. And is there one, before I say that, is there one last thing you want to say to the audience?
Yes, this is Catherine Flon, and she was the seamstress. She was like, the Betsy was of Haiti, and she was the one who saw the flag. And when desalination in 1803 removed the white part of the French flag as in a symbolic way, to see that they want you to get rid of the French from Haiti. They put the red and the blue part together, and from the first Haitian flag. So the first Haitian flag was in vertical. The band black, red and blue were placed in a vertical, but later the flag was changed to the blue and the red were placed horizontally, and where there was an emblem that was placed in the middle of the flag, but originally the flag was only in red and blue. Yes, it is in Catherine Flon, the niece of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who is known, for her contribution in making the flag.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to the audience. I trust you appreciated this conversation just like we did. And it was a pleasure speaking with Ulrick. And as always, like I always say about Haiti, peace for Haiti and love for Haiti and for all Haitian and love for all. Thank you again. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Sure. Bye-bye.